So I can go whenever? Yeah. All right. Hey everybody, welcome back to Bird's Eye View. It's been really cool to see the response to the show, all the support. Make sure you subscribe, tell a friend, you know the deal. And if you're new here, every week I talk to players from around the WNBA about their game. Some of them I've played with, some against, and this week I'm chatting with someone I played with, Jewell Loyd. Before we get to Jewell, who I was actually able to catch up with before she broke her nose in the Aces season opener, and now that the season has started, I want to begin with my view of the league, or what my producers want me to call Sue's view. I'm going to start this week with some players, some rookies, specifically out of Washington. These Mystic rookies they've been doing their thing. It makes me even more sad to not have Georgia Amore out there, but you have to talk about Sonia Citron. You have to talk about Kiki Iriafen right now. Sonia, she's somebody that was highly regarded coming out of college for sure, but played on a Notre Dame team where she was essentially the third option. So that meant the third hype, right? She was only getting the third amount of hype. And right now she's averaging 17 points on 65% shooting, 40 from three. But what I've seen is really just how she's been playing. She kind of just fits in. She's that kind of player. You can already see it offensively and then especially defensively. She's got something to her game, whether it's her size. Brittany Sykes has talked about her ability to or a knack for her to knock down passes and that type of thing. So it's been fun to see her adjust to the WNBA. And the same thing for Kiki. She's averaging 15.5 points, 9 rebounds, shooting 55%, already got a double-double. And I bring these two up because I've always wondered and thought about the college game and if it was a reliable evaluator for translation into the WNBA. And I think it's still a bit of a question mark because, like I said, Sonia was somebody that, and rightfully so, you had Olivia Miles, Hannah Hidalgo. She wasn't getting the same look. She wasn't getting the same conversation. Kiki Iriafen, this is someone who transferred, so obviously on a new USC team, playing with Juju Watkins. You're not necessarily talked about the same. And I think when it comes to draft day, sometimes the conversation around a player can impact where they're drafted. I actually feel bad for WNBA GMs sometimes. It can be tough. But seeing them start the way they're starting, especially those shooting percentages, has been really impressive. Okay, now I'm going to get into a team that has stuck out. There is zero surprise here. That team is Minnesota. They look good. They look like they have picked up exactly where they left off from last season. You can sit here and talk about Napheesa Collier, 28.5 points, Courtney Williams averaging 19. But I think what sets them apart and what has always set them apart is the chemistry that they play with, the ball movement they show, and their willingness to make the right play. So something that I went and checked out was just their assist numbers, right? Comparing them from 2024, where they obviously reached the finals, had a great season, to now. And already you're starting to see trends in that same direction. So in 2024, they were first in assists. They were top 3 in assist to turnover ratio. They were second in passes per game. And they were first in, by the way, I love this stat. I wish this existed when I played. They're first in potential assists per game. I love that. Courtney Williams last year created the most assist opportunities in pick and rolls per game per 100 possessions. Bridget Carlton was even up there, super efficient, just a little bit of a smaller sample size, so I don't have an exact number. And like I said, what you're seeing in 2025 is the same. Through 2 games, they're tied for first with the New York Liberty in assists. Courtney Williams is averaging 9.5 of those things. And by the way, this is all without Kayla McBride. So Minnesota's doing their thing. And that brings me to the Aces. I was in the building for opening night where the Aces played the Liberty, and it's the Las Vegas Aces. They had a huge trade in getting Jewell Loyd. They've got the MVP in Asia Wilson. I mean, Olympians in Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young. Obviously, the list goes on with this roster. It's a team that is always going to have high expectations. And I think that's what everybody is seeing now. But I feel like people fall into this trap where you think, oh, this team is super talented, so that's just going to speed up the chemistry process. And that's just not how it works. They're adding a totally different type of player in Jewell. By By the way, this is a team that had a core four essentially since 2021. So with Asia, Jackie, Chelsea, and Kelsey Plum, I can't even emphasize how much that means and how much of a role that plays. So bringing in somebody new to that mix changes things up. So that's first and foremost. So I think what the Aces are doing right now are they're still in the process of building that chemistry, but the difference from game 1 to game 2 has to be encouraging because in game 1, they shot just 34%. I don't even know what that number is if you take Asia out of it, and how much of that is the Liberty defense, which was excellent, but how much of that is simply just having a new team that's trying to build. Sometimes when you're in that building phase, it can lead to overthinking. Sometimes when you're on the court and you're overthinking, it could actually lead to like a little bit of an over-aggression. You start to get a little more aggressive, which ultimately leads to missing shots. It leads to then forcing. It's a little bit of a trickle down. And that's a little bit of what I saw when I watched that first game. But, you can't overreact. You can't overreact. And like I said, you already saw a huge improvement from game 1 to game 2. They obviously lost to Liberty game 1, bounced back against Connecticut. And no, Connecticut is not New York. So I'm definitely taking that into consideration. But you already saw things were a little bit more comfortable. I'm sure they watched film. I'm sure they had, a practice, a walkthrough, a shoot around. And you're really starting to see something different, especially from Jewell. She shot the ball much better this game, which always helps. She was 7 for 14, 6 for 9 from 3, but it was the kinds of shots that she was getting. I felt like she was a player that was letting the game come to her. She wasn't forcing anything. And in our interview, you'll hear her talk about just wanting to win and being willing to do whatever it takes in order to accomplish that. So what's already sticking out is actually her movement off the ball, as well as her screening. So as I said, she hit 6 threes against Connecticut, and none of them were shots that she had to create on her own. And that's a big difference from what we've seen from Jewell in the past couple years with the Storm. 4 of these were off drive and kicks, the type where Jewell had to relocate. She found the corner a couple times. 2 of them were off actions where she was the screener, right? I think one was actually a ball screen for Asia where she popped. Another one was a back screen where she was able to loosen herself up from the defense. And that's good news for Jewell to be able to find those moments, because when you're surrounded by talent, sometimes you just got to find the open spot and let the ball find you. And by the way, this was all in a mask after breaking her nose, which, if anyone could tell you it's me, it's the worst. The thing about wearing a mask is, first of all, if you're not a sweater, which I actually know Jewell is not, I am not, that thing just gets so sweaty, so slippery. It's like a version of a steam. And even though the eyes are cut out of the mask, it still just feels steamy in there. So that's just uncomfortable. But then the biggest thing and the biggest issue with the mask is it does prevent you from like a peripheral vision standpoint, it does prevent you from seeing down. Like you can't just glance your eyes down. Something's blocking you. It actually reminds me of the goggles that a lot of us grew up having to use to like work on our ball handling, where it basically just prevented you from looking down. If you don't know what I'm talking about, search it up. Basketball ball handling goggles. You'll see it in a second. But that's really what the mask does. It provides this like block to your peripheral vision. It didn't really impact me like shooting as much. Clearly didn't impact Jewell either. But I would say ball handling, it impacted me. And then maybe some other like side to side peripheral vision. I feel like my neck would always bug me because I found that I was turning my head a lot more in order to get like just views, just different angles and views. But you do get used to it. And like I said, Jewell seems to be doing just fine. And that takes us to our interview. She is a 6-time All-Star, 2-time WNBA champion, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, the 2023 scoring champ and 2023 All-Star MVP, and the 2015 Rookie of the Year. She's the 25th player in league history to hit 5,000 career points. She set the franchise record and WNBA rookie record for most free throws made without a single miss with 14. She was also drafted number 1 overall to the Seattle Storm. And from that day, along with myself, she was part of a core of the franchise. A year later, we add Breanna Stewart, which gives us a big 3. And I think the biggest question that most people had going into this season, at the start of the season, as Jewell starts her new chapter with the Las Vegas Aces, myself included, is what is it going to be like getting acclimated to a new franchise that has its own established core? Jewell, I literally died when I opened up my Instagram. I actually didn't even die that you were wearing a Las Vegas Aces jersey. That was like, okay, cool. I swiped through. Year 11.
I know.
Year 11.
How?
I was like, when did this happen?
Me and you both. I remember you telling me, like, it goes by quick.
It goes fast.
It goes by quick.
I got a little in my feels. I was remembering kind of like all these different moments. I think it was your very first media day.
Oh,
and
gosh.
I took a picture with you and Kalina, Mosquito Lewis. And I put like little emojis and it was like you two as babies and then me as the grandma in the middle.
Yep.
That was 2015.
It's wild.
God, it goes so fast. I can't even. We're going to get into all that, but I just need to start with that. Just an understanding of how fast it does go. And you've matured so much.
Oh,
it's really cool to see this, like, I don't know. You're coming across very like calm. You have like a calmness, right?
You.
Which I feel like adds to what already is a great career, what already is a lot of confidence. But now there's like a settled, like you're settled, you're grounded, you're calm.
I had a good mentor.
Okay.
It's true.
We'll get into that too. Has LH been out to Vegas yet?
Not yet. They're planning. You already know the group chat.
You got to tell the world who's LH.
Oh, LH. Those are my guys. We've been friends since literally 6 months old. There's like a picture of all of us. I mean, I can't remember any memory without them growing up. And obviously you met them, Frank the Tank, you know.
Of course.
He's a father
Frank
now.
the Tank.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, those are my guys. They've been with me every college, high school, overseas, Seattle, everything. So they're ready for Vegas.
Yeah. So there's something I don't think people know, or maybe fans have caught this and maybe like through your time, people have noticed, but tell everybody how you're announced. How are you introed for games? So like for me, it's like 5'9", sometimes 5'10".
5'10". I'm looking like, man.
Sometimes 5'10". So Jewell and I were always like the last two usually to get announced for games, and especially on away games, mostly on away. Basically always on away games.
Yeah.
And we're kind of sitting there waiting, and we'd be like waiting for the height. I'm 5'9". What do you claim?
I mean,
what are you claiming these days?
I'll do 5'10".
Okay.
Everyone's about 5'11". I'm like,
I
right.
know. That's what I'm saying. And every now and then it would be like 5'10". I'd look at Jewell. I'd be like, here she goes. Out of UConn, number 10. I'd be like, oh, she's 5'10" today. She's 5'10" today.
Everyone's shook.
So Jewell Loyd, 5'10", out of
Lincolnwood, Illinois.
Yeah. So talk about Lincolnwood, and first of all, why do you want to be introed representing them? And then talk about the impact your childhood and growing up there has had.
For sure. Lincolnwood is so special to me. It's a small town, like 12,000 people outside of Chicago. And it's just, that town means so much. That's where everything started. My dream, my friends, just being a kid, and that community really helped raise me for real. I know everyone says it takes a village, and I can remember, my neighbors helped me fix my bike, and people give me money to go get ice cream. Like, it really was just a big family. And so for me, it's really important to just kind of say thank you to them. And that's how I can say thank you every single game, is representing them and let them kind of feel prideful from being from Lincolnwood.
Could we give a shout out to, what is it? Lou
Malnati's.
Lou Malnati's. Yeah, Jewell's favorite pizza spot.
Always.
We went there.
Yeah.
You took us. That was your rookie year, I think.
Rookie year. Wow.
Yeah. I think it was your rookie year.
Yes.
I know, another flashback. I'm telling you, the memories start to come. So Lincolnwood has shaped you. LH, their support has shaped you, but of course your family has been there the whole time. We'll get into how your dad wanted you to play tennis, but I really want you to talk about Jared. I don't know if people like really understand the role that your brother has played.
If my brother didn't play basketball, I probably wouldn't have played basketball. He had such an impact on everything. I mean, he took me to the park every single day. He used to hate it.
Wait, he's 8 years older?
Yeah, 7.5.
7.5 years older. Okay.
So I mean, it's a really big gap. And so I was really that annoying little sister, like through and through, and probably still am. But yeah, Jared played basketball, and he was like a big icon around the town, the city, and Valparaiso, like going down to his games and watching and just studying him and seeing all the joy that came to playing basketball and just the crowds and everything that came with it. I didn't know anything. I was playing tennis at the time. So like, it's like, I just know the tennis world. I don't know the basketball world. And having that insight was huge. But I think the biggest thing now, I mean, now we work together. He's my business partner. So it's like everyone tells you like it's hard to work with your family, all these things, but we have a really good balance. And you know my brother, he's very like technical, like math guy, numbers guy, like, you know, poker face all the time. And I'm like the opposite of just like the creativity and comes in with all these other things. And we just have a really good partnership. And I think there's an understanding of what he does really well and great. And I appreciate that and respect that, and then vice versa. And so it allows us to really be a team through and through.
How's little Jared? How's Josiah?
Josiah's good.
Is he like an adult now?
Oh my, adult. He's like a CEO.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
him and Sarai. He just had baseball and basketball tournament this weekend. 11 and 9.
11 and 9.
It's crazy.
Oh
I mean,
God.
they're
Full
adorable. Athletes. Yeah,
I always loved like when they would pop up in like the Minnesota game.
Yeah.
Your brother and his family would always come to Minnesota.
Yep.
Josiah's my little guy.
Yeah, no, I got to see your highlights. He has a nice little hezzy.
Remember when Jared came to practice?
Yes. Yeah, Jared, it's either always 100% or nothing. And if like, Jared, you got to calm down just a little bit. Like,
and so the people know, like, I don't fuck around with practice players. I'm like, you're here for one reason only, and it's to like help us. You're not trying to make the team. How many times? Like, bro,
so many times.
No matter what you do, you can't make this team. So like, what are you doing? Yeah. So Jared, like, you know, it's a point guard rule though.
Yeah.
You check the ball, you get it back. You got to let me just make that first play. Like, it's a point guard rule.
Yeah.
This move. Jared came, stole it from me right away. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh,
okay,
God.
what is this? And you know, I was on my little practice plan. I was only in there for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Jared, you're ruining my 45 minutes.
On the offense, man. Offense, let's go.
You like how I did that? Yeah. Now that you can steal.
I'm all to. It's in my book.
Can steal. Yeah, when you get later in your career, it's the whole tread on the tire thing. So shout out to Jenny. She's the one and Susan, they kind of made this program where in a 2-hour, I mean, we didn't really go that long, but hour and a half, 2-hour practice, I had to pick my spots. I was getting my good 45 in, and they let me pick my spots, and it was like 43 minutes of offense. I did like a tiny bit of a defensive drill.
Habits.
Yeah, habits. This foot, that foot, that foot.
Good job, guys.
That foot. Amazing. But yeah, when Jared came to practice that day, I was like, but I could see, to be honest, when I look back on it, I could see how him being your older brother, I'm sure playing you just like that, hard, no matter if you're 2 years old, 22 years old, he's doing that. And so I'm sure that really set a tone for you.
Yeah, I only beat him once.
You only beat him once?
A mistake. I threw it behind my back and went in.
And it went in.
I was like, ah!
That's amazing. So like I said, your dad wanted you to play tennis. You recently told that story, so go check out Jewell's Pod, The Warehouse.
Yeah,
you recently told the story about literally throwing a game because he threatened that if you won, you would be taken to IMG. I mean, that's some foreshadowing. You ended up at IMG anyways in 2020.
Shout out to the bubble.
You would have been a menace, by the way, in tennis.
Yeah.
Megan and I were talking about it last night as I was like getting ready for this. We were like, oh my God, Jewell would have been an absolute menace in tennis.
Yeah,
I know. Did you ever love it? Obviously, you loved basketball more. You chose it. But did you ever like have a passion for tennis in that way?
For sure. I think I got it. I think before me throwing that game, it definitely was there because I could see it. And I really enjoyed being outside with my dad. That was like our bonding time. And I knew the path and I just found it so fascinating. But at the same time, I was such a hothead in tennis too because it was just me out there, you know, and there was a lot of pressure and trying to figure those things out and not having anything to kind of like bounce off of. And having that basketball like team mindset, I was like, this is just way better. Like, I just love it. All my friends played it too. So I'm like, I'm there and
social.
Yeah, I think now though, like I love it way more. I mean, I'm watching tennis, like Tennis Network is always on.
No, I knew, you've always been a watcher.
Yeah.
Well, you play pickleball too.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're getting like you're scratching that itch a little bit?
Yeah, exactly. So it's feeding that for sure. But I definitely still love it and talk about it. And I knew like the whys. I think I talked about it too. Like I'm still figuring out the whys of basketball. I didn't know all that. Like I knew all the whys of why to go cross court, why to do, drop shots, all those things. I didn't know that in basketball. So now that I'm still in the league, I'm still learning all the whys.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
So you obviously you chose basketball. You choose Notre Dame.
Yep.
You get to Notre Dame. At what point in your growth do you realize, like in those college years, do you realize like you're a bucket, like that you can score basically? I remember watching your junior year, which was your last year in that Final Four. It's like you can really get your shot whenever you want. You can really create whatever you want whenever you want. Like, yes, you get older, you hone that even more. But in those years, like when did that start to set in for you? Was it the Jewell? You knew I was bringing it up.
You had to. It's your favorite thing ever.
It is. Until it's not. Until you're doing it on my team.
You get one every 4 games. Honestly, I think like I was talking to Kobe like the whole time. So I'm learning from him a lot. And so having that insight, I would go work out after practices and like do everything basically he said. Work on this, work on that. So I'm kind of training like a pro like the day one since going into college. And then we played DePaul and I had like 40 something. And I realized like, okay, like if you have 40 points in college and you don't, I think I'm ready. I think I'm good, you know? So having that combination of like certain games and honestly, a lot of it came from playing UConn. I felt like if I could play my best against UConn and the best players, best coaches, then I could hold my own. If I couldn't play well against them, I'm like, I'm probably not ready to play at the next level. So like that was like my 2 things. Like I'm working out, like basically doing Kobe's workout plan. I'm playing against UConn, playing pretty well. Like I'm having 40-point games or 30-point games. I'm like, all right, I think I'm ready. So
you bring up Kobe. This is obviously a relationship you've talked about a ton. Meeting him at a Chicago Bulls game for the first time, staying in touch, the text messages, all those things. What is his lasting impact on your game?
It's probably, I mean, everyone talks about the mindset, but I think it's the vulnerability because a lot of times when we talked, it was really trying to get me outside of my comfort zone. To really see there's more to me than I probably realized. And the biggest probably impact was when he was writing his book, he sent it to me through an email, which was like 700 pages. Yeah. So I'm like, what is this? Like I'm overseas. I'm like, I get it, but like, I don't have that much time, Kobe, like, you know? And so I'm texting him back. I'm like, what is this? He's like, you know, like, I know reading's tough for you. Like, let's read this book together. Like, give me your insight. Like, tell me the character building, all these things. I'm like, what? And he knew that, like, I'm dyslexic. So like reading and all those things is really hard. And, you know, he struggled with those things too. So like having that moment was like bigger than anything. And it allowed me to see like, one, I'm human, right? But there's other people that along the way that are going to help you. One, you have to ask. Yeah. And that was a big moment in our relationship. And that was like the year before he passed too. So like we're doing all these things. And I think that probably lasted a bigger impact than all the basketball stuff because then I was like, wow, like he took the time to help me with something I struggle with, then I can do that for other people as well.
That's amazing. Yeah. When I think about the text that you've posted before, which is basically like you're asking him like, you know, like how do you get out of a shooting slump or funk? Yeah. And he's like, there is no such thing as a funk. It's obviously reminds me of the Nike commercial. It's like so perfect. Right. But like that really was him. Yeah. Like that really was him. It's like there's no such thing as a slump. Yeah. There's just the next shot. Yep. That's Kanye West being like, what the fuck does that mean?
Right. Right. There's more.
Yeah. There's more. So in college, your freshman year, your backcourt was you, Skylar, and Kayla McBride. Yeah. Like looking back, that's like a pretty epic backcourt.
Like how did we not win? Yeah. Damn, UConn.
What year was it? How did, what do you remember about playing with them, playing in that backcourt?
It was, I mean, practice was awesome. Yeah. We just competed on a whole nother level. There was just, we just can score any way anywhere. Obviously, we played Princeton offense, so off-ball movement was huge. And we had the perfect, I mean, Natalie Chum was a perfect point guard / center for us. Yeah. Ariel Breaker was like utility player, and we just had a really good mix. And so that backcourt was just fun. I mean, we were up and down, running around. Defensively, too, I mean, we had a lot of Julie Oobs, a lot of fast break layups. Yeah. It was really fun.
It sounds fun. You know, I'm actually going to go back. You know, you brought up being dyslexic, which is a big part of your story. I remember the huge, in Times Square, the big billboard. What a moment that was. Yeah. So you've always like talked about that experience. Something people might not know, I would love for you to share this, is even in timeouts. Yeah. So when you drop a play, the coach brings the board. And, you know, obviously, you know, you were vocal about this and everybody understood. So Jewell would have us, which honestly, I got really accustomed to, which even for me, if the board was the other way, I'd be like, whoa, 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 whoa. But Jewell has the board faced the way in which we're going. Yeah. So she can, I don't want to put words in your mouth, so you can visualize 100%. Like what's happening. If it's the other way, it gets a little. Are there any other ways, so that's one. Are there any other ways where your dyslexia has impacted your game?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times too, like, after the board shifts, I try to like respectfully not watch the coach draw, because it gets too much. And so I'll usually either close my eyes or just like look off or like wait for you, like use something like Sue, just to make sure. Yeah, what am I doing? You know, like can you translate what I'm doing? So that helps a lot too. But I also think in certain times too, either like patterns or cadence, I pick up a little faster. Okay. It just depends on what it is, but I feel like that's also helped me too because necessarily don't always think inside the box. I'm more so like outside the box. And I'm like, for me, it makes sense to do this. I don't know why. Or the simple things of us working now, like a step back to me is easier than just a regular pull-up jump shot.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that's just like.
It's called talent.
Oh yeah, maybe that too. Like in my head, like I would work out.
It's not like that for the rest of us.
But to me, like it's like, why not? You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like opposite. But like that's kind of like how my brain just like works. And so it's helped me because a lot of the harder things that I guess people don't always rep really quickly. For me, it's like it makes sense.
It's like a superpower.
But the easier like jump stop layup, I like can't fathom. Like my body just does not.
You're
do
like,
it.
I need this to be an up and under, reverse to the other side.
Exactly.
Which I've seen many times. So still in your Notre Dame career, I mean, things are going well. You're Big East freshman of the year. By the way, I love that you played in the Big East. R.I.P.
awesome.
the old Big East.
I know.
It was so good.
It really was.
So I'm glad you got a taste of that. But you were freshman of the year. You, your junior year, you were College Player of the Year for ESPN, ACC Player of the Year. This is interesting. You scored 1,909 points. That's still 5th on the all-time list. So imagine you played one more year.
Yeah.
You would have smashed that thing. You had just gotten to the national championship game. So why consider leaving? I mean, you know, we know what happened, but why consider leaving in that moment? What went into that decision?
You know, it was definitely more than just basketball. Obviously, I mean, if you read that and you're like, oh.
Well, my next question is, did the Storm having the number 1 pick play a role?
Possibly. And I knew some things. But no, I just felt like, you know, if I wanted to learn from professionals, and that's what I wanted to do, I need to go play with professionals. Mm-hmm. There's no one in college that's professional that could teach me what I need to know. I also knew that, you know, potentially like you and like you guys could be retiring soon. I don't know. Like I wanted to play with you guys before you guys left. You know, I didn't know this stuff,
Dang,
you know, like
already?
No. I mean, a little bit, you know, you never know the situation.
Yeah,
so it's like, you know, all these greats and all the people I watched, like I want to play with them. I want to learn from them.
Hey, listen, I hurt my knee. If you remember in the 2016 Olympics,
Yep.
It ended up being not a big deal. 3 days later, I was fine. I missed a game though. I thought I tore my ACL and that would have been it.
Yeah.
So we would have gotten a year and a half if that had happened.
Yeah.
So I hear your point.
So I was seeing all those things and honestly, I was just like ready. I was like over college. Like I was like, listen, my time, it could be used other ways. Like class is cool. I've learned everything I need to learn in college atmosphere, but I'm ready.
You know what I remember about that? I remember a lot about that. I remember it was, so you declaring happens in 24 hours. So like the minute, you know, the game ends, the national championship game, you know, you're going to make this announcement. So at the Final Four, which was in Tampa, I get a call from my agent at the time. And it's like, hey, would you be down to like have a chat with Jewell Loyd, Jewell's brother? And I'm like, okay. And I kind of went into it like, okay, he's probably going to just ask me about Seattle, ask me about the team, ask me. And he did. He had a ton of questions. But then I left the experience. I was like, did I just get vetted? Like, I thought I was helping him. And I was like, wait a minute. Was I just getting interviewed?
Probably.
Like for a job? Like, was he just like sussing me out?
Yeah.
So from a Storm standpoint, in that moment, it was interesting because Kalina Mosquito-Lewis was coming out and we had the number 1 pick for months. And it was kind of like, okay, she's likely the number 1 pick. So for a while it was like, this is who we're getting. 3-point shooter, Jenny Busek is just about to take the reins. We end up playing a very free-flowing 3-point shot heavy style. So Kalina's perfect. Then Amanda Zowie B declares. And it's like, oh, are we getting a post player? Like, what is this? She can shoot. This is great. She's versatile. And then shortly after the Final Four, it's like, oh no, now we're getting Jewell. So it was a little bit of a ride.
Right.
I mean, those are 3 different scenarios, 3 different players, and it really changed the trajectory of the Storm. But before we get to the actual draft night, when you declare, there's a certain someone who had a lot of opinions about it. Your coach at the time, Muffet McGraw.
Yeah.
She expressed shock, disappointment. She said, quote, "It's just mind-blowing that anyone would choose to leave early. It's really a bad decision for women, especially to try and leave early. They're not going to make the money the men make." She went on to talk about your WNBA salary, which is obviously missing the boat of like all the other opportunities, even then.
Right.
Even then. So I didn't love that. But what I find interesting, not Muffet's comments, what I find interesting is at that point, only 2 other people had come out early, one being the Dun.
Yeah, the Dun.
The Dun came out early, Epiphany Prince, for those that don't know. And so basically, you at that point, you know, actually a few years later, Jackie Young
Yep.
comes out, right? So Jackie Young, Notre Dame player, after 3 years declares to much less scrutiny.
Yeah.
Much less scrutiny. So I'm curious, how does it feel knowing that you like helped normalize that experience or that choice?
I guess I didn't really realize all that until like now, to be honest.
Well, how does it feel?
And it's kind of cool. Like, I guess I just thought like, why not? Like the guys do it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like if something goes wrong, I told my brother, like, if something goes wrong, I'll just go overseas. I'll do what Piff did.
Yeah.
Like she did it. I've seen her career. I've known her like
She's
in
doing
Chicago.
all right.
Like, yeah, you know, I'm like, all right, cool. Like there's other options. And I feel like right now, even if I leave, I still have 1 year, like before everyone else does it. Like I still have 1 year to try it out. And then next year, like, all right, cool. Like I don't feel like I'm losing anything. I'm just gaining everything because I'm learning the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
So to having that, I'm just like, well, if I inspired someone else to do it, cool.
Yeah.
You know, like that's awesome. Like I think anything that we do, if someone gets, you know, amped about it and wants to do it, whatever that is, like I think it's really cool. So that's like kind of mind blowing.
So I just realized something. When you were practicing with the Chicago Sky in your summers, which is something you did, you were a practice player. Was Piff on the team?
Yep.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
How is this just clicking right now?
Piff and
Did you guys like battle?
Yeah. She would destroy me. It was awful. I had to guard her every single day in practice.
Dang.
I got, you know, hit by Seal her screens.
Yeah,
I mean,
you were going against all the heavy
all of
hitter.
them.
Elena
Yeah.
Deladon was
Sloot.
there.
Yep.
Sloot.
Yep.
Man,
Everybody.
that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. So
I was
you
even
knew.
there when like Ruth Riley when she came back.
Really?
Yeah. And then I was there. I mean, I was there from like the very start. I started like high school, so I was.
I'm like, you knew you were ready for the WNBA.
I mean,
if I'm not ready, I can take a year.
I mean, you never know.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so you obviously get drafted to the Storm. I already told you what my experience was like. What was draft night like for you?
It was pretty cool. Like I feel like I mentioned this on like the warehouse too. Like I felt like I never ate. Like we were just going around. I was hungry the whole time, but like you're moving so quick and
they do pull you.
All this media stuff and you're getting fitted for this and doing this and you finally get a chance to sit down and you know, at the table with my family and it's realizing like what's about to happen. I'm about to, you know, basically, you know, join the league that I've, you know, wanted to join for so long and hearing your name called is something that's so like remarkable. And so once that happens, it's kind of quick, honestly. Like you say your name, you take the picture and then they send you back out to do more media and content. So it's really quick. But I think the best part is just being able to be on the stage and see my family and them being, you know, overwhelmed. And, you know, my mom is like, you know, all her feelings and stuff like that. So it's just really cool because it's the start of like your actual dream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know. So you actually came out to Seattle like pretty quickly right after. We hung out for like, got a beer.
Yeah, I know.
Got a beer. You were showing your maturity even then.
I was trying.
So funny. We sit down. It's like, oh, do you want to like hang out, grab a drink? I don't know, get coffee. It's like, yeah. Well, so we go to this bar and it's like, well, what do you want? You're like, Corona. I was like, okay, cool. I see what we're working with here. Barely touched it. Oh my gosh. Maybe took a sip.
Yeah, no.
Maybe took a sip.
Know.
I know what's happening.
I know it's terrible. I went back. I was like, God damn.
No, it was perfect. And then we actually, by the time you came out to Seattle for real, you threw the first pitch out at a Mariner game. Yeah, and that was really like the first time we got to.
Yeah, then it was like
more
all right,
time.
Yeah, round two, run it back.
Round two. So year one, you obviously finished Rookie of the Year, which is hilarious considering your teammates with who was your nemesis, Rookie of the Year nemesis that year.
That year was it?
She's your teammate now.
Yeah, Kia.
Yeah.
Kia.
They were the New York Liberty were pulling hard for her. Yeah, we were in the locker room like. Quit it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys are just number one. And Kia had a great rookie year.
Yeah,
I don't want
for sure. Yeah. But it was definitely like back and forth.
Come on. So you win Rookie of the Year. Listen, everybody talks now about rookies and then the adjustment from a physical standpoint, like the physicality of the league. So what was the adjustment like for you?
I just wanted to run fast, honestly.
Avoid it.
Yeah, I was 135. I was so small. So like I didn't stand a chance. Like, I mean, Kara Lawson was posting me up. It was like really bad. Like, I mean, Minnesota was terrible. I don't know why. It was just
it was terrible for everybody.
Yeah, it was a great experience, but like terrible experience, you know? And I think that was the biggest thing. It's like I knew one thing, I was probably faster and probably in better shape than a lot of people, so I was gonna use that to my advantage because I wasn't strong. So I tried to be quick, but I was on the floor a lot. Like, you guys were constantly yelling at me, like, get over the screen, don't die on the screens. I'm like, I'm trying my hardest. This is not working.
You did die on a lot of screens.
Oh, it was awful. Film was terrible.
It's a learning curve. It's a learning curve.
Yeah.
The good news is, year 2, you take a huge jump. I didn't even realize this until I started looking some stuff up. You went from, I knew you took a jump, but you went from 10 points per game rookie year to, by year 2, 16 and a half.
Wow.
So that's a legit jump. You make WNBA all second team. What do you think clicked for you? Like, did you add something? Was it a mindset, just an understanding of the league? Like, what clicked?
Probably just the adjustment. Finally feeling pretty comfortable in our system and understanding all the lingo and terminology, but then actually probably just like putting more time into it. And then realistically, he's probably playing overseas.
Yeah.
Like, that helps a lot. Just more reps. It's way more physical overseas too, so you kind of get used to that. And I think you just need more professional reps. Like, as much as college is, you're learning all this stuff, it's just not the same. So you just need, and you don't have a lot of time from training camp to when we start playing. So I think the more reps helped me, and I kind of settled in, and we were just a different team, and I think different understanding too.
Yeah, I think you're right about the system also, because looking back, it's the easiest type of basketball I've ever played in my life, but there was a learning curve for all of us. What I remember about year 2 for you was, it was either the first or second game we played against Phoenix, and you hit a game winner. Yeah, you had like 30, you hit the game winner, and I was like, this is different. It was just different. It was different from your rookie year, like right off the bat. Yeah. You could just see. And that game kind of, I feel like, you do something like that against a team like Phoenix, and it's going to give you
for sure a
lot more confidence. I remember that vividly.
Yeah.
How do you think when Stewie came to the team, it changed things?
I mean, we knew we were about to win a championship sooner or later. It was just like,
a matter of time.
A matter of time. Like, it was like, okay, cool. Like, she was a piece that we needed. Yeah. Like, with how we played and like what we're trying to do, and just the youth of our team, everything we needed Stewie. And it worked out perfectly. And I mean, obviously me and her were like locked in, and us three were just like a whole different level of just commitment to each other and what we wanted to do. And having Stewie was just like right on time.
Yeah, I think what a lot of people don't know is, because I get asked this question, like what I just asked you, like, oh, when Stewie came, like, what'd you have to change or what'd you have to do? And credit to Jenny Busek again. So in 2015, Jenny gets the job, and we're running this system like with the hopes of adding Stewie to it. Yeah. Like, it was kind of built for me, built for you, and then built for this third person that you wanted to be Stewie. Shout out to Abby Bishop.
Yeah, true.
Abby filled that role.
She did.
She's like, she's not Breanna Stewart, but she's Abby Bishop. Like, she can shoot, she can play make. So it really was like that style of player. Yeah. And so when we got Stewie, it actually just like hit the ground running in a lot of ways.
God, this is what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah, I know. Oh, this is what flow is. Got it. You also did your alley-oops.
You had to.
Whatever. Oh, you guys drove me nuts with that shit.
We were looking at each other running down the court like, just don't look at Sue.
Oh, God. The tip back and forth. I was like, why are we playing volleyball, y'all?
Like, shoot it.
Just fucking make the goddamn shot.
I know. After the third one, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be bad.
You already brought up that it was basically a matter of time until we won. And it happened pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2018. I mean, that's your fourth year?
Yep.
Stewie's third year in the league. What do you remember? Actually, I have like a little bit of a off the beaten path. Do you remember like what our group chat name was around that time? There's two I'm going to ask you about. Geez. There's two. Not the last one we had. It was right before the last one we had, which I'm setting you up here.
You are. I mean, either way. I'm
all right. So the group chat, I think going into 2018 was, are you in these streets or in these sheets? So that was the group chat name, which then turned into, from 2018 on, Stars on 3.
Stars on 3.
Because Dan Hughes, bless his heart, he called us. He coached for the San Antonio Stars for many years. Bless that man's heart. He could not get it straight. So he'd be like, all right, guys, Stars on 3. He'd be like, Dan, we're the Storm.
Yeah.
We're the Storm, Dan.
Doesn't get it.
He did that like
at least
countless.
Like, yeah.
Countless. So what do you remember about Stars on 3, the 2018 run?
Honestly, I feel like in 2017, we were like, okay, like we're going to come back stronger, better, all those things. And then I just remember always just being like, yeah, we're going to win. Like there was a atmosphere. Our team was so close. I mean, I think
So
people don't
close.
realize that. Like we were really, really close.
Really
Like we were
close.
hanging out all the time. Like everything. The group chat was always lit. Like it's always
Always.
going back and forth. And we just played with this like. I just feel like no team knew what we were doing half the time, so we were always ahead. And I always remember you telling us like fourth quarter, like we're gonna outrun these teams. Fourth quarter,
Yep,
and
they're gonna
every
be
time we got to the fourth
tired.
quarter, we're like, all right, here we go, guys.
Like you can hear them breathing. They're breathing. We got them.
All the time, like,
And it really happened.
like everything, like we were just like so locked in so different ways, and I think everyone brought a whole nother level and a look to our team when we came in, and it was just a special run. Like we didn't get caught up in like the rankings. We didn't get
No.
caught up in any of those things.
I don't
Halftime-
remember talking about it ever.
Never. We
Like,
never talked
legit.
about it. And we just kind of showed up and just focused on us and made it about us and our habits and what we wanted to do. And then we won.
Yeah. There's a couple of things I remember. First, so now you guys charter, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But when we were flying commercial, it's like you get to the airport. Honestly, Seattle, the Storm always did a great job. They would take our
Yeah.
bags, check our bags for
easy.
us. It was really easy. So we would just go straight to security. And through the course of my career, it's like that moment at security, you get on the other side, you're kind of like, you're going to wait for like whoever your friends are,
Yep.
like whoever you roll with.
Yep.
Maybe it's like, maybe there's a Starbucks crew.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a breakfast crew. But that year, that team, it was like we just traveled in one big pack
We did.
around. Yeah, every night you broke off to like get food, but then you always came back to the gate, sat together. Like that was different.
Yeah.
Like not a lot of WNBA teams, even the ones I was on
Yeah.
previously, had that. So that was different. And I think a really pivotal moment in 2018 was, you already brought up the Lynx. The Lynx was the standard.
Yep.
They were the bar, 4-time champs at that point. We played them at Minnesota, like kind of late in the season.
Yeah.
I don't know how many games left. Let's call it 5 or 6. And it was just, I don't know, there was just something about that game where it's not like it went perfect. I think we had to win it. Late in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
We hit the stretch, and we're going to talk about the fast-paced play that we played with.
Yeah.
But we hit that stretch in the fourth quarter where we had worn them down, and then we could make that push. We do it, we win. And there was something about beating them in that moment in the way that we did.
Yep.
Where, I don't know about you, but I feel like it gave me a whole other like level of confidence in us.
For sure. We could like, no one beat them. And we had to struggle.
We struggled a lot.
Beating them. Like I was like, it was just never easy, or we were close at one point and it was like all of a sudden like meltdown.
We would
or,
get
like,
right there.
yep,
Yes, and then we'd melt down.
all the time. Like we just need one possession turnover, like
Yep.
something, you know. And I remember sitting in the locker room like, we just beat the Minnesota Lynx like,
At Minnesota.
Yes, I'm like, this never happens, you know. Like trying to be cool, but at the same time, like no, like I think we all kind of looked like, yeah, like we're here, like we're present and we're standing on this.
Yeah, that felt really good.
Yeah.
So the fast-paced offense we played, we called it flow,
Yep.
and it was a lot of like, there was plays that were called.
Yep.
There were things we were trying to get. Don't get it wrong. I'm not going to twist it. But I think we all kind of understood that it's okay if we don't get it, because we can go to this.
Yep.
And then if it goes there, we can do that. But if it goes there, we can do this. And it really, at that point, it was just playing to all of our strengths.
Yeah.
And a big part of it was that we ran. I mean, we ran a lot.
Man.
In practice, every drill. That's probably the best shape in basketball I've ever been in.
Easily.
And we wore teams down. So was that when you think back on that style, like what comes to mind?
It's like control freedom.
Yeah.
And a lot of this stuff happened because we pushed. And so if we didn't have the initial action, we knew we could dribble handoff somewhere else, or there was always another option. But I just remember just running, like just layups. I mean, you were like a quarterback. You
Yeah.
were just throwing the ball. Like we were just all getting layups. And
my
it wasn't
favorite
just
part.
like backs. It wasn't just like the guards. It was our post players running. It was everybody running. And a lot of that too is like we knew. Like I knew what you did really well. I knew what AC did really well. I knew so like we understood if she's on this side, something's about to happen. That initiated another action, and so that helped a lot too. Like we were just really in sync. We knew exactly.
We knew all the
personnel.
strengths,
Yep.
all the weaknesses. Natasha Howard gets
Yes.
added in 2018. That
That's a
unlocks
whole-
it
yeah,
in a whole different
everything.
way.
Yeah.
Do you ever think like 2018 compared to 2020? Like which one's better?
Oof.
By the way, I don't think, listen, I'm biased. I don't think our teams get put in the conversation enough.
I agree.
I think people don't realize like how we wore teams down.
yeah.
I don't think
It was
they
an art.
really understand.
It's an art to
Because
it.
it's something you feel. It's not something that shows up in a box score or even maybe as you watch.
Yeah.
But other teams I know felt it.
Oh, for sure. We knew, like, we could like, oh,
We knew
hey,
it.
this person, like, we're like, oh, here it is. Like, we could literally see it. No, I don't know. I mean,
It's tough.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think 2020 was like deeper.
Yeah.
We went pretty deep. Like we have Piff, Ezzy coming off the bench, Sadie's.
I know.
We were pretty deep. But then it's like we had between Kalina and Sammy in 2018 this
snipers,
like punch.
Yeah.
So they come in and it was just like a 3-point punch.
Yeah, it was they would rattle them off too. Yeah. It was so quick.
Yeah, it's hard to choose.
Yeah,
it's hard to choose. Okay, so around this time, you start becoming and developing a friendship with Kyrie and with Phil Handy.
Yep.
Talk about their impact.
Yeah, I mean, being friends with Kai was, how it happened literally was, Kobe's like, you and Kai need to meet up. You guys need to look at each other and you guys are like the same. I'm like, whatever, and he actually came to Seattle.
Yeah.
And so then after that, we're like, all right, like, hi, Kai. Like, Kobe told me to, reach out. And then after that, we I've never stopped since. And so it was really cool because, he's so creative in the basketball world, obviously outside of basketball too, but having someone like that as your friend, but also your mentor, helped me a lot because I was like, wow, there's so many things I really still don't know. And then bringing Phil Handy into it, it's like, well, you've, coached everyone, have trained everyone, like, everything, the ins and outs of just how to get better. And that's something I really wanted to do. And so I always make sure that anyone I kind of bring to my circle has the right intentions. Like that's really big for me. And so both those guys had that. And so we just all connected and we all kind of have the same ethos and, we've been locked in ever since.
Yeah. So outside looking in, especially with Phil, because Phil was like hands-on. Yeah. I feel like Kyrie, you guys would like talk about stuff, right? And I know you worked out, but like Phil was like hands-on with you. Your like one-on-one play, like the way you were able to create space, get your jumper off, like that took a step. Yeah. And I am curious because I obviously was the play caller. Yeah. So I'm coming down the court and it's like, where can I get Jewell? Where can I get Jewell? And what I saw was like, you started out really good in pins, right? Like in down screens. Yeah,
bread and butter.
Bread and butter. Get to that kill spot. Yeah. And then you start to become good at like staggers or floppies. Yep. I mean, the amount of times. Oh my God. The amount of times we would have people dizzy on floppy and on pin.
Worked every time.
Yeah. So pin was a screen where Jewell you had options. Yep. You can come one way, you can come the other. And it was really just a race at that point. Yeah. Once you got them off you, it was just a race. So definitely started calling those like early in your career. And that extended the whole time that we played together. Yep. But then it starts becoming like, oh, I need to get her I need to get like matchups that we like. So let's say I'm being guarded by a point guard. You've got whoever you've got on you, likely the other team's like best perimeter. Yeah. Now it's like, well, let me go set ball screens for Jewell. Let's get this point guard and then go to work. And then I just get to spot up. So we started adding that to it. So it was really cool. And then of course, teams trapped you and we worked through that all the time. Yeah. But then it's like when you get a post player on you, it just became like, okay, we can all just like space out and let Jewell go to work. And I think they played a role in getting you to that. Plus, you've had a lot of people play roles. I know. There's Steve. I can't not talk about Steve. But I feel like, I don't know, there was something about your relationship with Kyrie and Phil like in that time that feels like it really clicked.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times it's just having more confidence, honestly, with your handle. I hate ball handling. Like, I hate it. Like, it's just like, oh my gosh.
Your ball handling took a...
And then having the reps with them made me enjoy it. I don't love it, to be honest with you, but it made me enjoy it because I realized all the things I need to create that space, the timing, the rhythm of things. And so with Kai, it was really funny. Like, he's always just like, dribbling and it's all like dancing. Yeah. So like the more I kind of like learn to dance with, like get loose, the better my handle got. Yeah. So I kind of correlate those two together. But that was really the main thing was like getting my handle tight in small spaces and working on the quick separation because I don't think I need much time or space. So if I could manipulate that,
fade a little bit too.
Yeah, if I can manipulate that a little bit, then that's what really I learned a lot from both of them.
Yeah, no, I definitely saw it. All right, I'm gonna do a quick before we move on to this new chapter. A quick like top 3 Seattle Storm moments. They're pretty obvious. 2 of them are very similar. Your game winner against Dallas in overtime in Everett.
Right.
0.8 seconds left. I mean, it barely touched your hands.
It wasn't even for me.
What?
The play wasn't for me,
no,
but
it wasn't.
I saw your eyes like, oh shit. Like,
it wasn't. And you were deep too.
I know.
So everyone can go look that up. Like it barely touches your hands, which brings me to the second one, which is really my favorite. In the bubble. It's the same scenario. In the bubble, except this time we're down 1. So we're down. Yeah. Like Dallas, it was tied. Yeah. Now we're playing LA in the bubble. We're down 1. There's 0.8 seconds. Our ball on the side. I'm taking it out. The play, again, like wasn't for you. It was just kind of like, and the last second, You catch it. But my favorite part, you catch it and make it, barely touches your hand. My favorite part is that the night before was when Kyle Lowry, when he was with the Raptors, he did it in their bubble season. He had some crazy shot where it barely touched his hands. So we're in the huddle and we're all like, they just did it. The Raptors just did it. This is possible. This is possible. And we go out and he fucking did it. I couldn't, that was nuts.
Yeah, that's like literally storybook ending.
Yeah, like both those moments, like I remember how it felt.
Yeah.
Those were great. And then honestly, my favorite moments with you were all of our long passes.
Yeah.
Because those are just such killers to other teams. And it felt like every time we connected on it, like we knew it.
Yeah.
We were like, gotcha.
Which I'm like, here I go.
I know. You and AC both, man.
Yes. I'll wait from like the 3-point line. I'm like, here it comes, and just take off. Yeah. I'm like, perfect every single time.
You and AC both were out. But yeah, every time we connected on those were killers.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to transition now to where you're at. You wrote a Players Tribune article to the Seattle fans after you were traded saying, this isn't goodbye, but a new chapter, one where I'll continue to carry the spirit of Seattle with me wherever I go. So what exactly are you going to carry with you?
Honestly, I think the biggest thing I learned is just the community aspect. I mean, I grew up in Seattle. Like, that's my first time living by myself, all those things. And the thing I always remember is everyone in the community always made sure I was good. If I needed anything, they're like, oh, we can help you find this and that. And that's a big factor to have that and just know that the support is always there. It didn't matter if we had a bad game, good game, won a championship, didn't win, make playoffs. Like, they always showed up for us. And I think that's important because regardless of what you do in life, like, you want support. You want to be seen. And I've always felt that when I was in Seattle.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, before we actually get to the trade part of it all, like, what challenges are you looking for? Like, you've basically won, almost everything you can win as a professional. So, like, what is it that you're looking for now?
That's a great question. I think right now it's really just to play with this joy. I think this kid-like joy, sometimes as you get older, and I'm, 11 years in, all this stuff, you kind of lose that kid-like curiosity. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to lose that. I think that allows me to be creative in my craft. That allows me to take risk and kind of go outside the box and lift a little harder, run a little faster. Is that because now I'm curious on what more I could do. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what's, igniting me now in my new or 11th season. I really new.
None of it. Are there parts of your game that you're like focused on, like worked on in the off season?
Yeah, a lot of it's more patient, kind of like Jalen Brunson a little bit. And I think I could finally use my strength a little bit. Yeah. And my footwork, I think I'm really focused on that too. Because a lot of times, like we said in pin downs, everyone knows I'm coming off to shoot. So using a jab step, shot fake, all those things, kind of be more patient. I think that would allow me to get to the free throw line a little bit more, and then allow myself to kind of take a breath and get a better balanced shot.
Yeah, I love the Jalen Brunson comparison because I feel like it's counterintuitive. Mm-hmm. I actually never mastered this.
It's tough.
I never mastered. The slower you go, the better it is. It's just there's a tendency to want to get away from defenders, but it's actually something about slowing down, especially as you get older, because it's just the reality. Yeah, like father time is father time. So to add like a slower version of what you're doing, I totally see how that could
really the sweat.
Yeah,
I don't like sweat. That's really why I don't like.
I was always like, I want to get away.
Exactly, that's why I fade. I don't like
forget it when it gets in the armpit.
Exactly, because gosh, give me a towel right away.
Oh God,
gosh.
Okay. Last but not least. You'll always be, this makes me sad, you'll always be a Seattle legend. You accomplished so much. You really left a legacy. I read some of this in the intro, but 2-time WNBA champion, Rookie of the Year, 6-time All-Star, All-Star Game MVP, first team WNBA, second team WNBA. Hey, Commissioner Cup champ.
Count that.
Commissioner Cup champ. Put that in the bank.
Yep.
You were the 2023 scoring leader, and that's just on the court. There's going to be Jewell Loyd jerseys in the Seattle stands for years to come, but you do get traded, and you're now a member of the Las Vegas Aces. Tell me what that process was like.
Honestly, that whole process was obviously new. I had no idea what it was going to be. But I remember telling my agent, like, listen, like, you handle this. I'm going to focus on Unrivaled. I'm going to go have a good off season. Like, let me know if anything happens. I don't want like, hey, you could do, like, just let me know exactly when it happens. Let me just focus on just kind of getting my life together. So that's pretty much what happened. Like, I was pretty, not hands-on. I let, my agent do everything and, gave feedback here and there. But I was like, listen, I just want a fresh start. Like, that's what I want. Like, I just want to go on.
Do you have to like give a list of teams? I'm always so curious about this.
Yeah,
stuff.
I gave a list, but I was like, listen, I just want to put me anywhere. Because I also knew like the CBA. So I'm like, technically everyone's on a 1 year. So it doesn't really matter.
That's true.
In my eyes, like, let me just, so it kind of worked out that way where I was like, just anywhere. Because who knows what's going to happen, in the other seasons. But gave that. And I was like, all right, like, got a call. I was literally about to eat and got a call like, hey, like, you're probably gonna get traded to Las Vegas. I was like, okay,
yeah, right.
Yeah, good joke. I'm like, all right. And so put the phone down, and then next thing I know, it was like, zzz. I'm like, what the hell? And I'm like, looking at, I'm like, no way, like this actually really happened. And Asia called me, and she's like screaming on the phone. I'm calling. I'm like, this is real life. It didn't really like settle. Like even now, like I'm like, dang, like this is kind of crazy, And so that's pretty much was the process. It was like all that, and Jade did everything, and I was just like.
And you and Asia became close, like USA basketball.
Yeah, we were really close. We've been close for a long time. I know Chelsea really well. I know Jackie really well. So it kind of like, they're my friends, which is really nice and comforting. So it's not totally new, but,
Yeah, has that helped in training camp? Like having that relationship with them?
For sure. Yeah. Just understanding just the lingo and just, when a lot of times when you go into a new situation, you're kind of like shy and like a little reserved.
Yeah, how have you been approaching it?
I've been different, Sue.
Really?
Sue, I've been wearing crop tops now. Like I'm different, it's a little different.
What is it? Crop top poppy?
Say that one more time.
I can't even get it out of my mouth.
Like it's just different. Like I feel like I'm just like fully, truly myself. Maybe that's just with.
I'm telling you, I sense the calm, man. Yeah, I sense the grounding.
And that's what it feels like. I'm just like at peace with everything.
How have the adjustments been though? Like it's still an adjustment.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like I got lost like for the first week. It was awful. Like locked off, got my key. Like it's just a whole different thing, just how things are ran. But I'm really just trying to learn. Like I haven't talked that much yet just on the courts. I'm still trying to figure out everything. And having Chelsea helps a lot. And
they don't know Loud Jewell yet?
No, they don't know that side yet. Get in there. They see like little grunts, but it's.
You're not like crazy loud, but you,
Yeah, I get to talk. Yeah, exactly. So, it's been really nice, but I'm just taking it day by day, honestly, because I'm still like unpacking and things like that.
Yeah, I know. So the other thing I find really interesting about this is, and this happened to me once in my career, but it was overseas. I played for one team in Russia for 5 years, Spartak, and our biggest rival was Ekaterinburg. And then I switched over to Ekaterinburg. And so it's like that whole like, when your idols become your rivals. And in this case, it's like when your rivals become your friends, your teammates.
Yeah, right.
And Vegas wasn't, I wouldn't say it was like the Storm in Vegas were like these huge rivals, but like we had some good series. They ended the season last year for you guys. Yep. So what is it like to now? It's like you were just competing against them, but now you're teammates.
Yeah, I think it's for me. I've always just had appreciation for really good basketball players and teams. Regardless, that's kind of the same way I feel about when we played UConn, like playing Stewie, right? Like Stewie's my homie, but like you guys destroy us all the time. But I have appreciation for just good basketball, and so that's kind of my mindset with them. It's like. We competed and had some crazy games, like losing at home, game 3, like that's
I don't want to talk about it.
That just like
I still can't talk about it.
It's just
I still cannot. I've never watched it.
Me either.
I don't like looking at highlights.
Me either. I literally do not. Like I just can't. Like so that's like always. So it's like I kind of always see that when I see them, but at the same time I just see like everyone's greatness, and I'm like that's awesome. Like this is really cool.
And what's it like playing for Becky?
Becky, like. The first conversation we had, she mentioned just like, how can I serve you? Like, what can I do? And I was like, whoa, like that's interesting. Like I've never had a coach say that to me, and having that insight was really cool. And she just really preaches, like she just wants us to be ourselves all the time. So like she never, one time she probably yelled at me and Jackie is for not shooting. Like she was like, call a timeout. I was like, what are you guys doing? I'm like, I don't know, we're tired. Like, she's like, shoot the ball. I'm like, okay. But no, she's really, you can see her mind, how it works, her play calls. And she just really wants us to go out there and have fun. And it's a really cool experience.
So do you feel like you've been able to bring or do you feel like you've had the space to be yourself? Because I think the reality is, and this is the other thing that I find most interesting about all of this is you were the face of the Storm, right? A big part of the core for many, many years. And now you're entering this team. You're new, but they've kind of had an established thing going.
Yeah.
Obviously part of that trade was that Kelsey Plum So there's a little bit of a vacancy there in terms of a guard spot, which, you essentially take because you're going to be a starter, I'm assuming. So like, what has that balance been? Like, how have you navigated that? Like, bringing yourself, have you had space to do that while also understanding you're not filling a shoes or a role? I actually don't think that at all, but you're entering like an established franchise.
Yeah. I've always kind of, actually Steve mentions this a lot. He's like, you've always been a really good soldier. Like, you understand your role and what to do, and you kind of just let it happen. And sometimes that soldier has to eventually, become a commander or a general, and you pick and choose. And that's sometimes throughout the game. And I feel like, through our training camp, I've learned like, okay, this is my time. This is my time to facilitate. This is my time to be a great screener. And how we play allows everyone to be the greatest version of themselves, which is really, really cool. Okay. And there's no like limits. There's not like, okay, like the first 2 minutes, 4 minutes. It's like, no, like throughout the game, throughout a possession, it's like you feel it and you understand it. And because I just want to win, I really don't care about any of that. I'm like, dude, like whatever you need me to do, like, okay, cool. Like you look at me, I'm like, okay, I'm seeing you looking at me. I'll shoot the ball, or whatever that is. So I understand I just want to play really, really good basketball on both ends.
Do you think you're bringing something to the Aces that they haven't had before?
I think so. I think my intensity and how I train is another level. And I think they're seeing that in how I do everything. I wake up at 5 and lift and all those things. Yeah. So I'm like a little different. I think, the first time Asia and I worked out together after practice, like I ran like my down and backs, this extra cardio, and she was like, man, okay, like yeah, like I'm not doing that. Like you're doing this, like I'm done. It's like off season. We're still trying to build up into shape, but I think those little things are seen, and I think that's elevating a little bit how we practice.
Okay. So you opened up with the New York Liberty. Is it weird to inherit, speaking of rivalries and rivals becoming idols and the whole thing, is it weird to like inherit a rivalry?
It's weird. It's so weird. I feel it like, Brandon, like the moment I got, traded and everyone's like, people were like, so you're on the other side? And I'm like, dang, like I really don't have a locker.
You were on a rival.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm like walking down like my backpack on.
Stewie's your teammate.
Yeah, I'm like, hi Stewie, like, what's up guys? Like it's pretty instant. So I'm still learning it too, because I don't know all the ins and outs, right? So I'm like, what happened? Like, what's really going on? So I'm kind of just going with the flow, I guess, but I gotta stand strong in where I'm at and learn as I go, but compete at a high level, I guess.
Yeah. Are there any other teams that like this off season with their moves, you see them now that like caught your eye that you're looking forward to playing?
I think it's like AT to Phoenix is like still like what, and I think how she plays allows, it's so hard to guard her and the people around her. So I think
like a train.
Yeah.
Great train.
Yeah. And so seeing that dynamic is going to be interesting. But this whole league this year, I think it might be one of the best competition, drama. It might be one of the best seasons we'll have, or the start of like the next generation of stuff, because it's just good basketball right now. Teams are building. Obviously, we're expanding as well too. So I think this year is going to be really, really exciting.
Yeah, we have 13 teams now. Obviously, one up from 12. But yeah, it's kind of like the last year of like the smaller.
Yeah.
What's 144 plus 12?
Yeah.
I'm terrible at math. 156.
College dropout.
Yeah. What's my excuse?
Come on, Sue.
So it's like a smaller group of people, which just means there's more parity. It's just like naturally how it is.
Sure.
And I totally agree. I think there are like teams that just on paper separate themselves. Yep. New York, Minnesota, obviously from the finals. You guys, of course. Indiana did really great.
Yeah.
Then Seattle. It's like there's a lot of teams that have like these rosters. But then even after that and beyond that, it's like, what's Atlanta going to be?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's interesting to me.
I know BG in Atlanta. I was like, oh man.
Her and Breanna Jones, like, what are they going to be? And that and Carl Smesko like runs an offense with a lot of threes.
Yep.
Then you brought up AT, Satu, Kalia in Phoenix. Yeah. So it's really exciting. I think Chicago looks really good.
Yeah, they do.
Anyways, I can go down the list, but it is really exciting to see and to know that this year is going to be crazy. Yeah. It's going to be, I think, a lot of
everyone better
the standings are going to be shuffling. It's going to be a lot of shuffling. Sure. All right. So what does success look like for you? And then what does it look like for your team?
For me, it's really just like I want to just, it sounds really basic, but I just want to be like happy.
Yeah.
Like I just want to be able to support my teammates in a crazy way, you know, like just have a smile when I play. I think, you know, you kind of just get in this like redundant space and you kind of like miss moments. I don't want to miss any moments, like the good, the bad, the ugly. I just want to play because that's when I'm at my best. You know that when I'm thinking, when I'm like, it's just awful. I'm just like so bad. So I don't want
That's
that.
everybody, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes,
you know, I just want to be happy. I just want to get out there and just like be at the playground. I think that's really, it's going to allow me to be at my best self. I think we'll see a little bit more of like the Gold Mamba.
Taking it back to Lincolnwood?
Yeah, taking it back to the Drake Park days for sure. And, you know, I'm excited for that. And I think for our team, I mean, we want to win. This team is built that way. That's the standard. The standard is excellence. And that's what you see every time you walk into the practice facility. It's all our habits. And, you know, we want to obviously stay healthy to do that and get back to, you know, what Vegas wants to do. And we want to win.
And what about Gwen? Is she performing the national anthem this year or what? Do I need to get my ticket now?
I haven't heard yet, you know, but she's been, you know, testing it out. But people have been asking for her. So
jockeying? She's positioning herself?
She is. You know she is. You know,
let me know. I will 100% pull up.
I will let you know for sure.
I was there once, well, obviously when we played, but as a spectator. I got to watch one year in Seattle.
Going with the mic.
I love it.
It's showtime always.
I love it. Jewell, thank you so much for coming in. This is fun.
Sue, you're the best. The legend herself.
So what I've always known, and I think what you guys learned today, is that Jewell has always been a sponge. She's always wanted to learn from others. She always sought that out, whether it was Kobe Bryant, her relationship with Kyrie Irving, legendary NBA coach Phil Handy, but even originally from her older brother Jared. And that has even extended now off the court in their business ventures. At the same time, she's someone who always gives back. Always thinking of others, is always open to paying it forward. Even something like getting her mom, Jewell Loyd, spots singing the national anthem before games. I knew this about Jewell from the moment I met her, even when she was just that 22-year-old ordering a Corona. And what I see now is an older, calmer, more confident version. And that probably means it's scary hours for the league. This episode is a co-production of Together and Vox Media. Our producers are Tommy Alter, Jason Gallagher, Richie Bozek, Harry Krinsky, Jess Clarendon, and Jasmine Ellis.